Hello, Chicago, and welcome back to another great episode of Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Queen Star, aka Ms. Hip Hop. And I want to first thank Spotify for allowing content creators like myself having the full control over music reviews like this one today. With that being said, welcome to season 11, episode 365. In today's program, I have a very special guest here, my beautiful mother. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Miss Hip Hop. Is Hip Hop. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I just want to thank you for, coming on today's show to discuss the legendary English singer and songwriter, Amy Jade Winehouse.
Yes, she's phenomenal.
Isn't she? Now, in today's program, we will be discussing who Amy Winehouse is and some of her most popular legendary singles like You Know I'm No Good and her duet with big time showbiz legendary jazz singer Tony Bennett and more. Okay? So I would like to start off, each and every episode with an icebreaker question. So let's go. Ma, what's your favorite song by Amy Winehouse and why?
Ooh. Man, she's got so many great ones. Her album, Back to Black. I don't know if you guys, your audience is a little bit, I don't know, younger, of course, than me. But maybe not. I don't know. You appeal to me. But at any rate, if I have to choose one of my favorite, it's going to be tough, but I would say Stronger Than Me. And that's a powerful, as all of her songs, that's a powerful song there. Most of her music is written about her, from her experiences. And she's very young the time she was making these albums, these songs. And this particular song, she's in love with her boyfriend. He's in love with her. And she's always finding herself having to pick him up, pick him up out the bootstraps, because she knows he's a good guy. But she's gotten to a point that she's just tired. She's saying to him, hey, sometimes I need what I give you, I need that back. I need to be picked up. I need you to be stronger than me.
That's right.
So I love that song.
Okay. Well, I actually did take the time out to listen to that song, and I thought it showed a lot of vulnerability, like when you're in a relationship with somebody, and sometimes, that tug of war pull comes down more so on your side than the other side, and you do find yourself, bearing it all, for that one person.
Especially women.
Yeah, especially women.
To do that more so, I think. But I do, like you said, it's about her relationship. It's about relationships. And most of her music is about that. And I hope your audience gets a chance to check that out.
Yeah, I hope so too, because it's a great song. Let's get into who Amy Winehouse is. But first, let me say this as a disclosure. I really didn't know anything about Amy Winehouse until this episode, okay? The only thing I knew about Amy Winehouse was she did a song called Cherry Wine with Nas. That's it. I mean, it is what it is, but doing this episode is very special with me and my mom. So I'm learning and also listening too. So yeah, let's get to it.
Very good. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I've been listening to Miss Winehouse since she did her debut in America. And now you know where you get your love of music from.
Yes,
and
I do.
So, Tony Bennett, you mentioned him, phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
That's another legend in himself is the history of who Tony Bennett is. But maybe we'll get to him at another episode.
We'll definitely get to him in this episode because he is legendary in more than one way, and we're going to talk about that. But first, who is Amy Winehouse to my audience out there? Amy Winehouse was a British vocalist and songwriter, and she was born September 14, 1983 in London, England. She died July 23rd, 2011 from alcohol intoxication. And Amy Winehouse also suffered from secondary progressive multiple sclerosis.
MS. MS, multiple sclerosis.
Yes, MS. And she was a strong advocate for those living with MS whose voices aren't being heard. And I find that phenomenal in itself because her mom suffered from MS too. And she was diagnosed in 2003, but it happened way before then. And so her mom wanted to do a documentary for Amy before the, Alzheimer's disease set in with her, and she wanted to tell the story of Amy Winehouse, like for the people that didn't know her, for who she really was. And that's why I'm happy to do this episode with my mom, because she suggested we do Amy Winehouse, and this girl was phenomenal, like a legend in herself, okay? So with that being said, Mom, you recently reached a milestone in your own life. Would you like to share?
Oh, God. I'm assuming the milestone that you are referring to is my most recent birthday.
Yes.
And yes, we did discuss that on my birthday. It was a milestone for me. I turned 60 years old, and I am so thankful to still be here. This 60 years on this planet, I've learned a lot. I've loved a lot. I've gained a lot, and the journey isn't over.
That's right.
It's just beginning. And that's why it's so phenomenal for me, because I'm thinking like, wow, you mean there's more to it than what I've already gone through? Oh, yeah. So for your listening audience that's under 40, you guys have so much to look forward to, because I'm really enjoying my 60th year. I'm just having a great time.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm almost 40 myself, and I can't wait to turn 60. If anything looks as glamorous as my mom does, I'm all for it.
Thank
you. Definitely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We have literally, guys, 10 minutes to wrap this up on Zoom. And I really want to get to Amy Winehouse's duet that she did with Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett is a legendary jazz singer, showbiz, if you will. He's been in the business for over 85 years.
That's right.
That's a very long time. And as my mom mentioned earlier, he did duets with the likes of Lady Gaga. That's a whole nother generation from Tony Bennett. Yet he deemed her enough talent to be legendary herself.
Oh, more than a generation. Tony Bennett is about 85 years old now. Lady Gaga and Amy Winehouse. Amy was in her 20s.
Yeah.
She did that with him. And Lady Gaga, that's just been recently, maybe about 5 years ago, something like that, that she did her duet with him. So the audience, even if they don't know about Amy Winehouse, everybody knows about Lady Gaga.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they don't know about Tony Bennett, but they know about Lady Gaga,
exactly,
if they Google it, they'll get a taste of who he is. And unfortunately, right now, he's experiencing dementia.
Yeah.
But when it comes to singing, his voice is still incredible. What his wife says, that's when he comes back to life, when he starts to perform.
Right.
But at
Exactly.
any rate, as you said, going back to Amy Winehouse, I didn't discover her, but I started following her when she did her first debut here in America. And that was probably back in 2005, 2006, the David Letterman show. You remember that show?
Yeah, I definitely remember that show.
Yeah. And she debuted on there with him, and she sang Rehab.
Yeah.
Heard that song?
Yes.
Rehab. That was the first song that she performed in America. And she was already hitting the charts in England. She was number one there. And she came here. And that day on David Letterman, America had an overwhelming response to her.
Yeah. She won a lot of Grammys. I think she won like over 5 Grammys for the last album she put out, Back to Black.
In one night.
In one night. That's crazy.
And that's only a handful of women have done that, I think. I know she's won, I think Adele.
Yeah.
And, Beyonce. Those three come off the top of my head. But I know it's about 7 or 8 women that's ever done it before. And of course, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the song that Tony Bennett and Amy Winehouse did was a cover from Libby Holman's 1931 song, Body and Soul. And if you go back and listen to that song, that was like in Billie Holiday's time. So her voice is so distinctive, Amy Winehouse's, that Tony Bennett had to calm her nerves down when they were working together and tell her, like, hey, you remind me of Deanna Washington, the it girl in the 50s.
And it's funny that you said that, because her iconic look with the beehive hair.
Yeah, and the Cleopatra dark makeup.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to say this is just my opinion, but I think that Amy Winehouse brought the Cleopatra winged
eye
makeup back, reintroduced it to Americans. That's what I think, because I don't recall too many people wearing the Cleopatra. As a matter of fact, they don't even call it that. That's what it's called. But I think they call it here some type of wings or something, but not necessarily Cleopatra, but that's where it's from.
Right.
And I really think she reintroduced that look with the eyes, the Cleopatra makeup to America. That's my opinion.
That's a great opinion, because I think you're right. A lot of people look to her for inspiration for fashion tips too. A lot of people don't know that she struggled with a lot of addictive ways, like she was bulimia, the alcohol intoxication, and a lot of the things that she was going through, her on and off relationship with her ex-husband, was in her albums. Everything she was going through, she put her heart and soul into it.
Absolutely.
And that's what made her stand out so much as an artist.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I always think of her as a hybrid of Joss Stone, Nora Jones, and Adele.
Wow.
I always see her, it's just like, it's hard to describe, but if you listen to each of these women, they all have this sensual, sexy, voluptuous voices. And you can just close your eyes and you can just actually drift when you're listening to these women's voices. And, Amy Winehouse and Adele, they were actually classmates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were classmates, but they didn't really have a good relationship. with each other. And when I say classmates, I'm talking like high school.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew of each other, but they were not friendly towards each other.
Wow.
And story has it that Amy was probably a big reason for that. So I wasn't there. I don't know, but I think they're only a couple of years apart and a couple of years in, tracking with their success in America.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they did go. They were classmates.
Wow, then that's interesting. I had no idea that Amy Winehouse was classmates with someone legendary like Adele. They're both legends.
Yeah,
maybe that's why they clashed a little.
As a matter of fact, Amy inspired Adele to start to play the guitar, I think. Guitar.
Wow.
She was inspired by Amy. I can't remember the song that Amy sang, and she was playing the guitar. It inspired Adele. So she's always looked up to her.
Mm-hmm.
Adele has always looked up to Amy Winehouse. She's always given her kudos for her music. So it is what it is. And one of the songs on Back to Black, I think, is about Nas. She had a crush on him.
What? That is awesome.
Yes, she had a huge crush on Nas. And I'm trying to think of the name of the song. Because he did an interview about 6 months after she died. And he said that the interviewer asked him about this particular song. He goes, yeah, it was about me. He says, we have planned on spending our upcoming birthdays together because they were born on the same day.
Yeah.
By that time, she had crossed over.
That's crazy because that was her last song that she did with Tony Bennett, her last recording. And they released it the year of her birthday, September 14th.
And that was the year that she and Nas were supposed to get together, celebrate their birthdays. So she had a big crush on Nas.
That's incredible. That's like one fact that Mzhiphop did not know. Okay.
Well, see, now you know where you get it from.
Yeah.
Because the parents know about their children's likes, dislikes, their loves, their pet peeves. But you guys never know anything about what we think or what we love or how we feel about stuff because you never ask.
That's true. My mom is so right. And you guys, I hate to end this wonderful interview, but it won't be the last. So we have less than a minute to go. So thank you so much for tuning in to Speak Your Mind Radio, season 11, episode 365 with my beautiful, beautiful mom. Thank you so much for showing your face on camera because my mom is a very private woman. Okay. Thank you, Mom. I love you so much.
I love you.